Please welcome Selena Chambers.
Hello. Alright, so we're going to get lit in a different way. I'm going to do two things tonight. I'm going to read a story from my short story collection that's coming out in May, calls for submission. And in honor of, I believe it happened, I thought that there was going to be another Muslim ban protest today, and I wasn't able to go. So to kind of represent solidarity with my Muslim siblings, I want to read a poem from Faroukzad, who was the Iranian Sylvia Plath. She wrote at the same time as Sylvia Plath did in the 60s, and she died at the same age, but she died in a car crash. So that's what's up. So the story I'm going to read from my collection is, we got any Frida Kahlo fans in the audience?
Yay!
Have you guys been to the exhibit in St. Pete yet?
No.
Ooh, I haven't either. I wanted to go this weekend, but they closed it for the Grand Prix. But anyway, because she's kind of hanging out in Florida right now, I thought it'd be neat to read a story that was inspired from her painting, What the Water Gave Me. I'm really interested in women's relationships. Like, we never know who our parents are, our grandparents are. So this is sort of a story about correspondences that's mirrored on Frida Kahlo's painting. And it has to do with wine, too. A lot of drinking. Vintage scenes number 3. 1. In a bathtub, fat, plum-painted toes spy hop in steaming suds. 2. In the tub's corners, glass prayer candles flicker blessings over the water surface, transforming it into a scree that not only reflects the little piggies, but the dour, emaciated faces of San Lazaro and San Judas Tadeo. 3. The toes belong to a tear-streaked, red-eyed girl sinking, soaking, and sulking sorrow among the Mr. Bubble fjords. She holds over the tub a half-empty wine bottle. She sits up, swings the bottle up for a swig, and lets it crash on the tile as she falls back into the water, going under, holding the wine in her mouth. 4. It is a Tuscan something with a delicious but doleful taste. Black cherries, black berries, black currants, and black pepper, the 4 horsemen of the blackest nights of the darkest apocalypse. It has an abstract musk to match, like antiquity, like dust and cracked leather, dried roses and talc powder. It smells like Miss Havisham, like old people with dreams rotting inside them, or like the Cody lipstick the girl's Nana always wore. 5. I keep saying the girl, but I'm the girl. I'm mourning. I'm drunk in the bathtub. Those little archipelago toes belong to me, and to my mother before me, and to her mother before her. Those toes belong to Nana. Nana is nil now. 6. Nana liked to bathe us when my brothers and I were little. She would tell us to look to the water and tell her what we saw. I'd say, I see Big Bird cracking babies like eggs and eating their yolks. A regular childhood nightmare for me. My brothers would see specters of the frogs and ants that they had killed, resurrected and surfacing for revenge. We were a ghastly lot, but Nana never judged or hushed our admitted crimes and fears. She would pull the plug and sing, rub-a-dub-dub, wash it down the tub, it all just drains away. There, my darlings, tomorrow is another day. We are all clean slates again. 7. We were too young to think beyond ourselves, and so we never asked her what she saw and drained from her days. 8. In her clawfoot tub, her feet stick out like flesh birds in the water. Her life appears in ripples. 9. Between her feet, her visage appears young and blonde, with pencil-thin eyebrows and spring water eyes. She's riding on a school bus in a seat next to the dark, handsome, and world-weary driver. He keeps one eye on her and the other on the country dirt road. She looks out the window at a passing farm. 10. By her right knee, the man stands on a stage playing a banged-up acoustic guitar and singing into a sure 55. Nana dances by the bandstand, hands up in the air, her skirts full of twirled air. The dress is made from potato sacks and full of patches. She is being watched by a cross-armed, static brunette wearing silken lace and a gold band on her left ring finger that matches the one shining on the man's fretting hand. 11. By her left knee, in front of a parked 1939 Ford Deluxe, is a chair cradling a swaddled baby sleeping in a makeshift nest of sheets and blankets. She and the man, now her man, embrace beside the display of their firstborn daughter. Next to the infant appears an identical chair with an identical swaddled baby, but the nesting is black, and this baby is blue. She stands over it, holding its hand, her face frozen in a Munchian wail. 12. From left knee down her thigh, a series of tombstones, some tiny and nameless, others containing siblings, parents, and friends. Most prominently is her husband, signified by a guitar leaning against the granite front, broken at the neck. 13. Around the Venus Delta, the graveyard bottoms out onto a calm beach. She is alone and wearing a long navy blue cover-up. Hunched over a fishing net, sea spray crashes over her feet and sand clumps fall from her hand. Her body has grown stout, her hair cropped, her face more withdrawn, and she looks over her shoulder once seen in the sun. And beneath her outstretched hand, forms a frying pan cooking up mullet fillets. Around her feet are fish heads and viscera, with grandchildren poking at the guts, scales, and innards with a stick. The left thigh. Her position is transposed, and now she is gray-haired and bifocaled, surrounded by lilac tile and a pink polyester nightgown, hunched over a faucet running water into a tub full of splashing toddlers. She is smiling. 15. I am smiling down at the girl, smiling up at me. Not the girl, not myself even, Nana. Nana is smiling down at me and I smile up at her. 16. I am crying. My tears destroy the screen. 17. Pull the plug, watch it drain. 18. The wine is drained and the girl lets the bottle roll from her hand. Glass rattling on tile. Her tongue feels heavy and soft like shag carpet. Total blackness almost achieved. She leans back against the end of the tub and stares ahead at the feet that float like flesh birds in the water. The fat, plum-painted toes that spy hop in steaming suds. 19. The toes that are my toes, are my mother's toes, or my grandmother's toes, and they all curl together to slip down and wrap themselves in the chain hanging from the overflow plate. They yank the chain up with a splash, and the evaporating suds swim towards the mini maelstrom by our feet. 20. Rub-a-dub-dub, wash it down the tub, and we all go down the drain when we pull the plug. Okay, so that was an original piece by me, and now I'd like to share this poem by Fro Farrokhzad. It's from her collection Sin. Only voice remains. Why should I stop? Why? Birds have gone to seek their blue way. The horizon is horizontal, movement vertical, a gushing geyser. Bright stars spin as far as the eye can see. The earth repeats itself in space. Air tunnels become connecting canals, and day changes to an entity so vast it cannot be stuffed into the narrow imaginations of the newspaper worms. Why should I stop? The path meanders among life's tiny veins, and the climate of the moon's womb will annihilate the cancerous cells, and in the chemical aura of after dawn, there will remain only voice seeping into time. Why should I stop? What is a swamp but a spawning ground for corruption's vermin? Swelled corpses pen the morgue's thoughts, the cad hides his yellowness in the dark, and the cockroach? When the cockroach harangues, why should I stop? Printers' lead letters line up in vain. Lead letters and lead cannot salvage petty thoughts. My essence is of trees. Breathing stale air depresses me. A bird long dead canceled me to remember flight. Fusion creates the greatest force. Fusion with the sun's luminescent soul, comprehension flooding with light. Windmills eventually warp and rot. Why should I stop? I hold to my breast sheaves of unripe wheat and give them milk. Voice, voice, only voice. The water's voice, its wish to flow. The starlight's voice, pouring upon the earth's female form. The voice of the egg in the womb congealing into sense, the clotting together of love's minds. Voice, 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 only voice remains. In a world of runts, measurements orbit around zero. Why must I stop? The four elements alone rule me. My heart's charter cannot be drafted by the provincial government of the blind. What have I to do with the long feral howls of the beast's genitals? What have I to do with the slow progress of a maggot through flesh? It's the flower's blood-stained history that has committed me to life. The flower's blood-stained history. You here?